Less is more or more for less? Today I show you why more fall protection can actually be cheaper. Stay tuned. Okay, so here's the situation we're going to look at today. So as always, we're going to do this in 4 steps. Step number 1, we're going to identify the areas to protect. Step number 2, we're going to identify the falling hazard. Step number 3, we're going to define our solution. And then step number 4, we're going to do some suggestions to go even further. So let's get right to it. So here's our situation. We have a high-rise building with a roof level on the rooftop where there are many mechanical units that all need to be maintained over time. So let's do a quick screen capture and get to work. So step number 1, what do we want to protect? So basically, in this situation that we needed to look at, these 2 units were considered first because they were closer to the roof edge. There's no doubt about it. We do have 2 units that are straight. This one is very, very close, and this one is extremely close too. And considering the height of the building, these 2 definitely need to have some protection. So step number 3, let's define the falling hazard. So in this type of situation where we have a roof level on top of the main roof, it's always important first to measure the actual height. In that case, we see a door here, so just considering the height above the door, there's definitely a falling hazard of 3 meters or more on this second roof level, but it's always good to start by measuring the actual roof level. Sometimes it's 4 feet, 5 feet, and then this needs to go into our suggestion or into our survey that this roof level is only 4 feet or 5 feet or 6 feet, and that the standard says that according to the standard it's 10 feet or more where we need to act. That said, like always, a fall of 5 feet is still a tough fall. Okay, so basically, once this is said, of course, the roof edge is the falling hazard here. We're very close here to a fall on the level lower and possibly to a fall down in the street much further below. So definitely we have to protect these 2 mechanical units. Okay, so step number 3, let's get right to it. And this is where this situation gets interesting. So it's a simple situation. We have 2 small mechanical units. Considering their positioning, I would definitely go with some compact, VSS compact sections. So according to the size of the units, we would suggest on this one either like a 10 or I would say 15 feet section here, where we would have our returns like this, and then this one is a little bit bigger. I think a 20-foot section, that's about right, like this would be ideal. Now, of course, we could stop there. However, it's always important to discuss with us when we have these type of situation, because we always want to have the best protection for the least amount of money. In that case, this applies. I don't know if you see the small corner here that is unprotected. We're going to measure the difference in terms of material and then in terms of money of having 2 separate sections versus 1 longer section like this. It's always better to have only 1 section than 2 separate sections. This is a very good calculation to do when our 2 sections are around 20 or 25 foot apart. In fact, we always calculate it, but as soon as it's 20 foot apart, it's worthwhile to connect them. it might be the same amount of money. It's not cheaper, it's the same amount of money, but you have more protection. So when we work with you to design the best fall protection system, we always make sure that we have, of course, the best coverage, but that you have the best coverage for the least amount of money. And in that case, this applies. So we're gonna stick with one long section, and this is gonna cover not only these 2 units, but also the corner, and ultimately it's just gonna offer a much better fall protection for this small roof level. So step number 4, if we wanted to go even further, where there's a lot of things to do here, I believe that the access to this roof level was through an hatch that was positioned right here. So of course, this hatch absolutely needs to be protected. So there would need to have some type of roof protection here for the hatch itself. Not only the hatch itself, but it's also positioned very close to the edge. Then, how do people go from this hatch to the work area? So can we just cut straight there to this new guardrail that we created? How far is this unit from the edge here as well, to make sure that this one need or doesn't need fall protection? Same thing here. If needed, I would definitely incorporate some fall protection on this side. So having good measurements of everything next to the roof edge will really give you the best indication of where you need to put some fall protection. And as always, if you think that 2 sections of guardrail might be combined, just let us know and we'll figure it out for you, and we're gonna give you the best advice on how to get the best protection for the best price. That's it. I hope you have enjoyed and learned with today's situation. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. Do you have a similar situation on your building? Contact us by email at info@deltaprevention.com and we'll get back to you in 24 hours or less. To get notified of our next video, follow us on YouTube or subscribe to our newsletter by clicking the link in the description below. Thanks again and stay safe.